So Jack, you've been with us for 18 months, a great period, but what have you noticed has changed in digital marketing in that time?
I think it's what's not changed, really. The whole landscape's changed when you really look at it. As an account manager working majority in search, one thing that I have noticed is there's a big need to diversify now. You can't just stick with the traditional Google ads and maybe do a bit of Microsoft ads. You really need to expand your reach across multiple channels. I think one of the biggest things to notice as well is the increase in competition. Back when I started at Push, you really looked at the marketplace and you could see quite clearly that it was less competitive. When you have a look at your auction insights now, in comparison to back then, you can see that there's a lot more confidence in the market. And what does that lead to? Higher CPCs, which refers back to my original point. You need to diversify. Find a cheaper channel that drives excellent results. For example, your TikToks, your Snapchats, really look at those social channels as well. And I think the biggest thing which has come to light recently is the emphasis on automation and machine learning. When you really look at the direction Google is specifically going in, it's taking the power away from the account manager and the real focus on strategy now. You're not what I refer to as bid fiddling all day. You're really looking at the account and saying, okay, what can Google leverage for me to allow me to focus on the top line holistic stuff?
Okay, and so when you think I'm going to sort of turn that around a little bit, and like if you think about you've excelled here, and you think about when you joined, what do you think is changing in the way or the type of people that we need to recruit to work at Push? What are the sort of skill set changes compared to saying, I know you weren't there then, but let's say 3 or 4 years ago, what sort of people, what sort of animals do we need to kind of work at Push?
Yeah, for sure. I think I won't use the word pivot. I know you're not the biggest fan, but you need to be agile. You need to be really, really ready to adapt to a situation as it comes to you. Because the way these platforms are moving nowadays, something can be sunsetted, taken away within months. So you really need to be always ahead, you need to be fast, and you really need to be looking at what's happening in the industry. Where's the next 10 steps that I need to take my accounts going forward from there?
So how does someone like you stay ahead? I mean, there's a certain amount of information that you're getting fed from colleagues and the rest of us, but what else do you do?
I think it comes down to 2 things. One, the research piece. You need to stay ahead. You need to be subscribed to these newsletters, which we're actively encouraged to do by you guys. But I think the second thing is really just you need to be analytical. You need to focus on these trends and the directions in which things are going. And it can't just be the top line analysis anymore. It needs to be, granular. Let me have a look at my ads. How are responsive search ads doing over the past 6 months in comparison to expanded text ads? Okay, so expanded text ads, the performance has declined over the last 6 months exponentially. They're being sunsetted in June. I need to transition my accounts into responsive search ads. Now, that's a very granular insight, but you really need to be on top of the analytical side of things all the time.
Do you think, perhaps this is a leading question, but do you think we're needing more commercial understanding and more creativity from people as they come into the roles?
Absolutely. Yeah, you really need to be able to look at things from a business perspective, that commercial side of things. Understand profit margins, understand what makes a business tick, but you also need to have the other side of your brain thinking, okay, what can I do from a creative aspect which is going to encourage a higher click-through rate, going to encourage a better conversion rate? Now, these are quite granular things, but when you put this all together, that's the end goal, right? Increasing the profitability of a business and the propensity for someone to convert with a business you're managing.
That's brilliant. Thanks very much, Jack.